Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the food plot series. It's actually raining out right now, so I'm going to make this as short and quick and sweet as I can. We're over here at the back 40 plot that I have my mom's with the brassicas and the clovers. So I guess I'll just start off with this brassica plot. As you can see behind me, it's coming in pretty good. There is definitely some bare spots where I'm just not sure if the seed just didn't take or if I just flat out missed it with the seeder. So I actually got some more seed. It's actually different seed. This is just the fastest stuff I could get here. I've been super busy and it's just wasn't working out time-wise to get what I had in here. So I got a bag of Mossy Oak Biologic Maximize, and I got, you can see this big bare spot here. It's actually quite a bit more open than it looks right there. You guys can see here, it's pretty bare right here, and then it's really bare up in through here, and then it kind of goes this way. There's some grasses growing in the middle and kind of where I spread some seed out there. So other than that, the rest of the plot on the outside edges here, mostly in the middle, and then that back corner is doing exceptionally well. I'll kind of show you guys where the growth is at this. You're looking, 3, 4, maybe 5 inches tall in some spots. So pretty good growth so far. I'm pretty happy with it. Like I said, I just used some Biologic Maximize to fill in some of these bare spots, just because that was the quickest seed that I could get that a buddy of mine uses quite a bit and has very good success with. So I'll go on to the clover next. As you guys can see here, clover's coming up really good. It's pretty thick in here, and it's coming up really good. Lots and lots and lots of clover in here. That extends mostly down to, I would say, about that taller tree. Next year I'm just going to keep adding and adding clover in here. As you guys can see, it's just thick and lush with clover just about everywhere. So you got the clover plot here, brassica plot here, and sorry, I know the lens is getting all rained on. It's starting to pick up, so I'm gonna hurry up and get out of here. One thing I am gonna do though, I put a stand up here yesterday. I had an old homemade wooden stand. I'll stand under this tree so you guys aren't getting drops on the camera. I had an old homemade wooden stand from when I was like 14 years old. I built back here when I very first started doing food plots in this back field. It's been a few years since I've done one, and this year I really did everything right with soil samples, lime, fertilizer, everything. So this is another bare spot. I don't know if it just doesn't get enough sun right here or what, but I replanted this little strip here too, down through in here, and it goes up. I don't know if I just happened to miss it or what, but anyways, when I was about 14 years old, I built a homemade stand in this tree, and it's been there ever since. And I haven't hunted in a few years because I was 14 years old when I built it, and it was just rotted out and pretty well gone. But I have the food plot here, and I have where my truck is. That's all that clover plot right there. Main entrance points for deer on this plot are going to be that trail right there. Then there's a trail in the corner. There's a trail that comes out in the middle here, and then in the corner of this side of the food plot, I'll show you. I open up these trails every single year for the deer. So all these trails are opened up. It's nice, easy access for them here. Just like this one right here. This trail goes down and over, you guys can see it goes right out to this cornfield here. Once the you can actually see where the deer have been using it. You can see right here where the deer have been going down and going into the cornfield right there. And you can actually see a dead piece of corn right here where it looks like a deer's been ripping it off. So I'm sure the deer have been in here like crazy eating on this corn, which is fine with me. That means they're not housing this food plot and taking it down to the dirt. So, but all them trails that I pointed out, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 5 trails coming to this plot. Actually, technically 6, because there's a tractor opening here from the cornfield, but I'm not really counting that one. But so you got the 5 major trails coming in here that I've had opened up for the deer to come out in here, basically on either one corner, and everything's on this side here all the way to that corner. All the big trail openings where I'm gonna say 95% of my deer are gonna be coming from, that are gonna be coming to this plot. So you guys also see me do this. Sorry, the bugs are horrible back here today. The hanging vine mock scrape. I have a cell camera on it, and does, fawns, bucks have been using that. I got a picture not too long ago of a pretty nice buck come up here in the morning and use that scrape. So I had an old homemade wooden tree stand here up in this tree, and in a minute here I'll climb up to the top of that stand and I'll show you guys what I'm going to be seeing from the tree stand, what you guys are going to be seeing this fall. I can hunt all this field, this cornfield behind me right here. When they take that cornfield down and they chop it, I'll be able to hunt that whole cornfield too. So if any deer come out, there's a woods on the other side. I don't have permission in there other than to get deer, but I do have permission to hunt this cornfield. So I'm gonna climb up in the stand and I'll show you guys the view from the tree stand and what I can see of this cornfield and what I can see of this food plot, and in reference to I'll also reference where the all the trails are that come out into this again, so you guys get a better understanding of when I show you my access to this stand. You guys can get a better understanding of where the trails are versus, and I'll kind of point out where the bedding is too. So I'll get up there and I'll explain it all. All right, everybody. So as you can see behind me here, we get this big cornfield. I'm up in the tree stand. You can see just how much of this cornfield even behind me here. Once them leaves are gone, you guys can get a gist of how much I'll be able to see. This cornfield goes for several hundred yards behind me. It's a pretty narrow field, but it's very long. I think the field itself is, I'm gonna say, around 1,000, 1,200 yards long, and then it's probably only maybe 100 yards wide. So it's pretty long, skinny field. But when they chop that, I can hunt this field. I can shoot deer out in this field. So this stand here gives me great access to be able to shoot this field. And then I'll turn you around here, and this is my view of the food plot. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but right there is that hanging vine scrape, and that's at about 10 yards. So you guys can see that trail I showed you on camera is around this in that corner, and I got a trail coming out in the middle here. There's a trail coming out in that corner. There's a trail coming out on that side, and then again, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it or not, but right about there is a trail coming out of the hardwoods that we own, and then that tractor path I told you guys about that I'm not really counting comes out into this field, like, I don't know, maybe 20 yards beyond them trees. If you can kind of see where the food plot ends there and it meets the clover, it's right there. So gives you guys a pretty good gist of what I'm going to be able to see from this stand. Now the question is, the big question I had with this tree stand and putting a stand back in this tree is how am I going to get into it? Early bow season, I may still have corn standing here. I don't know if they're going to combine it or if they're going to chop it for silage. If they chop it for silage, depending on how wet it is this year, I may not have that corn as a screen against that woods over there. But if you look down here, I don't know how well you guys can see this or tell what that is, but this is a ditch, and it's a pretty deep ditch, and it runs all the way down here over towards where I can park. So once I get down here, I'll kind of show you guys how I'm gonna get in and out of here. One thing I do want to explain is bedding. Where are the deer bedded, reference to this tree stand? Where do I think the deer are going to be bedded in reference to here? Right over my shoulder. So the trail I showed you is back in this corner, and I told you there's a trail in the middle on the back end of this food plot. That whole back side of this food plot, and then where the other middle trail is dead across from me, there's a pine tree thicket up in there. That's bedding up in there, and it's great thermal cover. And then there's bedding off here behind my shoulder off the back end of the food plot. And then across the cornfield over here, if you go down back a ways, there's a big bedding area in there too. So there's bedding all around this. And when they take this off, if they take it off in the silage, or even if they combine it, there's still going to be corn left behind, but this will be the lush green field that I'm hoping the deer are going to want to be in. But regardless, we got corn off this side that the deer will even feed in after the corn's taken off, because they always miss some. The combines are pretty good nowadays, and so are the choppers, but you're always going to have some that are missed. So you're going to have some corn out here, you're going to have the brassica here, and then down there you're going to have my clover plot. So I got a good stand of clover that's about a ½ acre in size, good stand of brassica that's about a ½ acre in size, and then what's going to be chopped corn here off my shoulder. So I'm going to get down here quick, and I'll show you guys once again where the bedding is, because I know it's kind of confusing from up here, and then I'll show you guys how I'm going to get in and out of this tree stand. Alright everybody, here's that tractor path that I was telling you about that comes in and out of this field here. I'm not really considered in a trail to here, but the deer do use it quite a bit. So I'm here at my truck. This is the big food plot. Off the back end here, there's a bunch of bedding area. I did practice a little bit of TSI and a little bit of hinge cutting in there a couple years ago. I really try to stay out of there as much as I can, especially now. I don't want to bump any deer out of there. I guarantee you there's deer in there right now listening to me talk. But if I don't bump them out of there, they'll stay in there. This is a very active property. We're always back here. So you got the bedding off the back end here, and then off of this side. So my bedding's back here, stands right up there. On the opposite side of the tree stand, back up in here, there's a pine woods that a lot of stuff is falling over and the deer bed in all the time. There's actually 2 little pine woods that the deer use all the time, and they bed in them all the time. So there's bedding off all around this, and then bedding off way on the other side. Now I'm gonna explain to you guys how I'm gonna get in and out of here. All the way down at the far end of this field, in this corner, there's a trail. There's a 2-track road that comes all the way up here on the other side of this little woods here. I can use that trail. I can come right across. It's hard to see here, but this field actually dips down. So I know it's hard to see in the camera, but this field goes down. So I can actually come just along the bottom of this field down here, and then by the time I hit this brush, I have a trail that goes straight across this little skinny hedgerow in between my clover and the corn. Remember, bedding is right there. So what this lip in the field, if we go to eye level of a deer, you know, this is right here, you're talking 6 foot. Eye level of a deer is going to be right about here somewhere. You can just see how much actually disappears there. I can even cut inside the woods if I thought I needed to, but then I can cross the little hedgerow here and then come straight up on the other side of this hedgerow, right in this ditch here. This ditch that I was telling you guys about right here. I can come right up that ditch. Walk down here. I can come right up this ditch line here, and I'm actually almost ground level. That's how tall the corn is here. I'm almost ground level with the field here. So any deer on that woods on the other side of this, they won't see me either. And then I can run this ditch up here. Remember, the ditch is right behind me. So I can run up through here, come right up on the back side of this hedgerow, and then once I get to right there, there's my stand. So I can come right up the little bank right here off the ditch, stands right there, I can go right up. So that's my access to this place without being seen on any deer that are going to be bedded on the opposite side or across this cornfield. I can use that ditch to get in and out of here, and then if there's no deer here but there's deer out in the cornfield, I can just simply get down out of the stand, come down the edge of the food plot here, and then go out that way, depending on where the deer are. That's the plan for this. This is the food plot update for the back 40 plot. This is how it's looking, and I filled in all these bare spots here. So that's the update for this plot, how I'm gonna hunt it, where my stand is, what you guys are gonna see this fall, and how this property lays out in coordinates to where I put this food plot. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe. There's a ton more videos to come. We're about a week and a half from goose season, and we're gonna pound some giant honkers on a marsh way up back here, and then hopefully on some fields too. So stay tuned for all that. I'm gonna get a brand new GoPro, and much nicer than the one that I have now, and we are gonna hammer some geese. So I can't wait for that. Please subscribe, drop a comment, let me know what you think of the videos, what you want to see. Hit the like button if you liked it, and we'll see you guys on the next one.